Because I remember seeing the Say It Isn't Over video, and it looked like a fun video. You guys doing the dance routine and everything.
Yeah.
And while Lawrence was singing, you was doing your little bob thing. And when they gave you a good shot close up, I'm like, who this Alan Payne looking, Jason's lyric looking dude right here? But it was like, you guys were on RCA. I think at the time SWV was on RCA, right?
Who?
SWV.
Yeah, goodness gracious. I haven't heard that name since 93. But yeah.
Yeah, so RCA was like pretty hot because SWV was like their money-making group at that point. Now, this leads me to my next question. Why no follow-up?
Well, that's very much a loaded question. I actually get that question asked a lot. It was actually my decision, to be honest with you. I'll spare you the gory details, but in general, my philosophy in business is to hold my time and my investment accountable to measurable results. That's really how I look at things. And whenever I do something in business, I expect to see a return in value of some kind. And what happened was I was doing 511, and after the first album, as much success as I thought we had, I didn't have anything to show for it financially. Not enough for me to be happy. And going into a second album literally would have meant investing another 2 or 3 years of my life into another album, which at the time I had to make that assessment and say, is that something I'm willing to do? To be honest with you, at the end of the day, I just wasn't. What I did was I actually went back to college, and I enrolled in college, finished up my bachelor's degree, and went along and got a master's as well. And I wanted to pursue the business side of things. So I've since gained, tons of corporate experience and consulting experience, and I'm glad I did that. But it was just a decision in life. Sometimes you get to that fork in the road where you say, okay, do I want to invest another 2 or 3 years doing this and hope that it works, or not, or go down another path? And that's kind of how it worked out. And unfortunately, for Lawrence, I know that he had wanted to do a second album, and I, unfortunately, it just didn't feel right to me to do a second one.
Right. Whenever you get that gut, you listen to your gut. Even though you guys are doing your thing, but you just gotta know when to hold them and when to fold them.
You're exactly right, man. You're exactly right.
Yep. So where did you go get your BA when you re-enrolled in school?
I ended up getting my bachelor's from Georgia State University here in Atlanta. So I got the BA in communications and marketing, and I got a master's degree in psychological studies here in Atlanta as well. And it's been great, though. It's allowed me to do some incredible things that I don't think I would have been able to do had I not had that academic, credibility. Looking back, I'm very, very thankful that, God blessed me to make that decision, have that kind of discernment, because, I'm very successful today, very happy today, and I just don't think I don't know, what would have happened, but I'm just very pleased with the path that I chose. And so is my family, so is my wife, and we're just very happy with the way things turned out.
Right. Now, what is your feelings on the current state of R&B today? Because when I look on YouTube, it's like a lot of the older fans that came up during that time when 511 was out, and back was like, today's R&B is more about quantity over quality and in it to make the quick buck.
Yeah. And I definitely don't want to say anything negative, because, I'm like, well, put it this way, Jarrell. I haven't listened to an R&B radio station since I left the industry. Okay, and that's not because it's not like I'm bitter or I'm on strike or something like that. I just don't relate to today's R&B culture. You can chalk that up to the fact that I'm getting old. I don't know. But I can tell you that the R&B culture, I just don't really relate to it. I don't gravitate towards it, and I'm not saying that anything's wrong with it. I'm just not there. So I don't really have much to say about the R&B music today. It's funny how, to me, back when I was doing music, it seemed like country was like kind of off to the left. But now it seems like, the mainstream country, like, Faith Hill and Shania Twain and people like that. I mean, it's almost like country is becoming pop. To me, it's like R&B, it feels like it's gotten maybe a little bit more pushed in the corner a little bit. It used to be a little bit more mainstream. But, hey, I was younger. Maybe that's how I perceived it at the time. But it's just not much there for me, but I'm just sure that's because I'm just getting older. I'm a husband, I'm a father, so that's probably what happens when you get old.
Right, definitely, because it kind of feels like, even though I was like a little kid or a baby when New Jack Swing and all that stuff was popular, and it kind of felt like I wish I would have been my age during New Jack and hip hop soul, because I probably would have enjoyed it a lot better.
It was fun. I mean, definitely. I mean, I'm sure today's music is fun, but it was definitely fun. You know, I just think I have fond memories of the music industry when I was doing it. I'm glad. You know what? And I can honestly say that I'm glad I was doing music when I did it. Like, I'm glad I was late teen or an early 20 something back then. I don't know if I could have gotten into music today if I was at your age. I don't know if I could have been doing music. I don't know, but the timing was good for me. It was right. Although we didn't have, a lot of success in terms of platinum records and millions of dollars and all that, I think we had it was just a positive experience. So that's kind of weird to come out of something with it still being positive. And maybe that's how you extract, how you pull from it. Because I got a lot of great relationships out of it, saw a lot of great people. A lot of great places and met a lot of great people. And it enriched my life. It adds to who I am today. And I'm glad I did it, too, because I don't have to be where I am today saying I wish I had tried this or I don't have any regrets of, I should have tried it. And that's one thing I would encourage anyone to, go after your dreams, pursue it, because you don't want to look back and say, I wish I had given it a shot. I can say that I know what it's like to write a song and hear it on the radio and see it in Billboard. I know what it's like to travel. I know what it's like to be on tour and to not work a regular job and to be getting paid from being a recording artist. I mean, I know I've experienced all that, so it's out of my system. So I truly don't have to, yearn for it anymore.
Are you still surprised that 511 has an underground following 15 years later?
Dude, that's funny. I honestly think you're being overly generous by calling it an underground following. I would guess it to be a stretch to say more than 5 of your listeners have even heard of us, man. I truly don't see us as having an underground following. But I tell you this, I'm always surprised, though. Whenever I hear people talking about 511 or, our song is being played somewhere. But I'm just like that. When I close a door, I close a door, and it's like that was a chapter in my life, and I move on. And what happens is even my wife, if it weren't for my wife, I wouldn't have any 511 CDs or any 511 videos. Literally, I wouldn't have any of that stuff. And I came across our video on YouTube by accident because someone told me about it. I would have had no idea. I am surprised because, it's something that I closed the door on in terms of that was something that I did. I've moved on. To even be having this conversation about it it's surreal. It's like, wow, it's amazing.
So do you keep in touch with Lawrence?
I have not kept in touch with him, and I've not heard from him. But I definitely would love to see Lawrence. I would love to hear from him. If Lawrence is listening, please give me a call. I would love, have lunch, whatever. But I would love to catch up with Lawrence. But I have not. Like I said, after I left the industry, I went straight to college, and I was pretty much underground, buried in the books for a few years. And I wasn't sure whether he moved back to Indiana or if he stayed in Atlanta, because he's from, I think, Gary, Indiana, originally. And so I wasn't sure if he went back there or whatever. But I know that he wasn't at the record company anymore. So I wasn't quite sure how to find him, but I do not. I would love to hear from him, though.
Okay, and what are you up to nowadays?
I am just having a blast, man. I am a father, as you know. I'm a husband. Have a beautiful wife. She's insanely gorgeous. So I'm a very, very, blessed man. We're a blessed family, and so I'm having fun with my family. And as for business, I'm definitely, involved with a lot of business ventures right now in terms of some early stage companies. But you know what? I would be remiss though if I didn't offer this to your listeners, Jarrell. You are a true professional, man, and I just think you're a very sharp individual, and you definitely have a sense of wisdom and business acumen beyond your years, bro. So I'm truly humbled and honored that you've asked me to do this interview, and I must admit that I was a bit hesitant to do it at first, though. I didn't think that there was any relevance to what I had to say about the past, but, and also I just moved on from those days to the point where it just almost felt a little awkward to revisit it.
Right.
But my hat goes off to you, man. I think WUAG is lucky to have you on board, and it's been a pleasure and a privilege, my friend.
I appreciate it. And what you were saying about those IPOs made me want to go ahead and get my Wall Street Journal game up and invest some stocks and get a 401k.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. That's what we do. My wife's family went IPO in 2001, I think it was, or 2002. 2002, and that was our first experience with IPOs. And so now I'm involved with another company, and it's well poised and well positioned to have a healthy IPO. And I think maybe 2 to 3 years we should have a very healthy IPO. It's a global company. It's a sporting goods company, and like I said, I'm coming on as the chief marketing officer. It's actually it's officially done already. But anyway, that's kind of what's going on in the business front. But like I said, we're blessed, and we're just very, very just thankful to be alive, man. And it's a pleasure to have done this interview with you. I'm very glad that you asked me to do this, and I'm very humbled and honored.
All right. Do you have any shout outs you want to give before we conclude it?
Well, just to my daughter, really. She's 6, and I like to definitely say, praising and all glory to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. If it's a shout out to be made on a daily and on a second by second basis, that's who my shout out goes to. But hey, man, I really thank you for allowing me this opportunity. It's been a pleasure, actually. It's kind of awkward, like I said. I haven't done this in what's this 2008. We're talking more than 10 years that I've actually done an interview regarding the music industry. So I do a lot of interviews on business, but I haven't done a music business interview in a decade.
So not from that other life. But ladies and gentlemen, Time Machine exclusive, Rod Peters, former member of the 90s R&B group 511. Rod, thank you for doing this interview, and hang on the line.
Thank you, Joe.
All right.